Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Henry Higgins III and this was going to be a reaction to the trailer for Black Phone 2, but there was an issue with the setup that put the kibosh on that. So instead, having watched the trailer multiple times now, this video is going to be my thoughts on what was shown, what could be waiting for us, and why I am hyped to the max for this film. Before getting to that though, let's talk a little bit about The Black Phone, released in June 2022 after it debuted at Fantastic Fest September the previous year. As a huge fan of Scott Derrickson's work, especially when he's collaborating with C. Robert Cargill, I was excited to see what The Black Phone would give after seeing the trailer for that one. And it definitely didn't disappoint. I absolutely loved the period setting, the whole premise of the movie, the characters, the main leads in the form of Mason Thames as Finney, Madeleine McGraw as his younger sister Gwen, and of course Ethan Hawke as the grabber himself. In The Black Phone, the tension in the world building, along with the ability for it to be completely grounded in reality, while simultaneously being a supernatural ghost story. It was astounding to see how well Cargill and Scott Derrickson walked that line, and I left the cinema after seeing The Black Phone eager for more from this world and from these characters. The tone, the grabber's aesthetic, and the potential for more, that was captivating. And that leads us to this week with the trailer for Black Phone 2 dropping and my hype going into overdrive. Now, as a fan of comic books and comic book films, games and TV shows, Fantastic Four First Steps is a huge event movie this year. For me, Black Phone 2 is an event movie on that same level. I have no doubt, and this is not a slight on the Black Phone 2, that Fantastic Four will obviously appeal to a wider audience and it will do much more at the box office. But that's designed for that. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a huge comic book tentpole movie. But for me, based on how much I loved The Black Phone, how many times I've rewatched it, how much I love the character and what they did with that, a sequel was always like a need, and the fact that we're getting one and the trailer dropped, that, as I say, puts this on as an event movie for me on the same level as Fantastic Four First Steps is for me. Before the trailer actually dropped, there was talk of how the grabber, and sorry, I should preface this, there's going to be spoilers for the first movie. If you haven't seen it already, go and watch it and then come back. But before the trailer, there was talk of how the grabber could come back after he was killed at the end of the first film. But then you remember The Black Phone it's a slasher film to a degree. It's a masked killer, but it's also a ghost story. It's a supernatural ghost story. And it was a ghost story with his victims coming back to aid Finney in taking down the grabber. So of course the grabber can also return post-death. But the big question now, once you've got your head around that canon, the big question now is in what form does he come back, and how can he affect the living in the way the ghost in the first one affected Finn to obviously succeed and escape? Now, thankfully, this does appear to be answered, at least in part, during the trailer itself. Now, I am going to caveat that by saying that Cargill and Derrickson will have kept elements out of the trailer as a surprise for the audience going to see it in the cinema. But from what we do see in the trailer, it would seem the grabber has the ability to haunt people in their dreams and to kill them that way. Now, of course, that is obviously going to make horror fans especially immediately think of Freddy Krueger. And there were definitely vibes of that on show in the trailer. But again, and not to stress the point too hard, but Cargill and Derrickson know what they're doing. So this is not going to be just a derivative take on that premise, and I have faith they will make it their own. But also, as an aside, we've not had a Freddy movie since 2010. We've not had a good Freddy movie since 2003's Freddy vs. Jason. We've not had a good solo Freddy movie since 1994's New Nightmare, my personal favourite from the series. And we've not had a good original canon solo Freddy movie since 1988's The Dream Master. So this generation does need another iconic villain to look up to. It needs one to join the ranks of the classics. And if the grabber is going to pick up where Freddy Krueger left off, I, for one, will be thankful for the carnage that ensues. Transition! And that's my brief thoughts on Black Phone 2 and its trailer. Now, have you seen the trailer? If so, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But that'll do it for this one, so please like, share and subscribe. Look after yourself, look after each other, stay safe, and as always, stay awesome. Goodbye.